Do you remember the song a few years ago, "Don't Worry, Be Happy"? It sounds like a good message, but sometimes it can seem a little bit superficial. Is the answer to our problems to pretend that they don't exist, push them to the side, and just force a smile on our face? In Luke chapter 12, Jesus gives us the real answer to our problems. I don't bring up this song because it's a bad song or a bad message. In fact, there's one line in it that I really like. In every life, we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Jesus actually talks about this in this chapter. Verse 25, "And which of you by worrying can add a single hour to his lifespan? If then you cannot do even a very little thing, why do you worry about other matters?" So it's true that when we worry, we just add to our hurts rather than actually helping ourselves. But in order to really overcome worry, we need to have a substantial reason, something that's more than just a superficial slogan, because there are some really troubling things in this world. Yes, there's troubling things in the news, things that are going on across the world, but there are troubling things that happen to our lives here. And how do we overcome those things? We don't overcome them just by forcing ourselves to smile, pretending that those problems aren't there. We need something else to help us overcome. In this chapter, Jesus gives us that reason, and it's simple yet profound. We have a God who cares for us. Look at verse 22. He said to his disciples, "For this reason I say to you, do not worry about your life as to what you will eat, nor for your body as to what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap. They have no storeroom nor barn, and yet God feeds them. How much more valuable you are than the birds." So Jesus acknowledges that we have problems in this world. There's rent that needs to be paid. There is health. There's bodily concerns. Jesus is not telling us to ignore those things. He's telling us to trust God in those things. And the example he uses are the birds, the smallest and seemingly most insignificant of all God's creation. He says, God feeds them. How much more will he feed you? And to help us think about that, Jesus calls God our Father. In verse 29, he says, "And do not seek what you will eat and what you will drink, and do not keep worrying, for all these things the nations of the world eagerly seek, but your Father knows that you need these things. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be added to you. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has chosen gladly to give you the kingdom." Do you have children? If you do, how much do you love them? And how much will you make sure that they have what they need to be provided for and protected? In a much greater way, the Father in heaven will do much more for his people because we are his creation and we are his children. And so the answer Jesus gives us to our worries is to rely on the Father, to trust in him. And when we do that, and when we remember that there are more important things that the Father can give us, as he says here, and seek the kingdom because he has chosen gladly to give you the kingdom, then we will learn what true happiness is. So next time you worry or feel anxious, remember what Jesus says. You have a heavenly Father who cares for you, and he will provide for you because you are his creation. I hope this was helpful for you today. Thanks for watching today. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless.